Hello. First of all, I've got no apologies to make. This channel is what it is. I'm some joker talking about sports until I'm blue in the face.
I am leaving now.
That's okay. I have no highlights to access, but I possess a very specific set of skills honed over a great deal of time. This is chapter 17,991 of NFL history, and every chapter is a story all its own. So there are worse ways to spend a Sunday during football season than watching one of the best defensive players alive sack a quarterback 5 times. But there's probably better ways to spend it than watching your team lose by 19 points while he does it. It's October 26th, 2025, week 8 of the NFL season. The Browns are in Foxborough to play the New England Patriots. And these two teams are headed in very different directions. Around the league, 2025 has started to get weird. The Colts, Indianapolis, they're 6-1, and they're sitting on top of the AFC. New England's right behind them at 5-2. Denver's 5-2. Buffalo's 4-2, while Kansas City, who is the team everybody gotten used to seeing right at the top, they're 4-3. The NFC is even more crowded. Green Bay has 1 loss. Philadelphia, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Detroit, Seattle, and the Rams, they're all packed into the picture. Nobody's separated from anybody else yet. But one of the bigger surprises is happening right here in New England. Not literally, I'm in Houston. But what are you going to do, huh? My randomizer spit out chapter 17,991, and that's the game we're going with. The Patriots went 4-13 in 2024. Drake Mayo lasted 1 year as head coach. And now, Mike Vrabel is back in New England. This time he's running the whole deal, the whole shebang. And Drake May's starting to look serious. New England started 1-2, then beat Carolina, Buffalo, New Orleans, and Tennessee. 4 straight. And the Buffalo game mattered. The Bills were 4-0 when New England went into Orchard Park and beat them 23-20. Then the Patriots handled New Orleans and Tennessee on the road. So when they finally returned home for Cleveland, the conversation around May has started to change. He's not just a promising second-year quarterback anymore. Through 7 games, he's completing over 3/4 of his passes, 75.2%, 12 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His passer rating is 116.4. He's also doing damage with his legs. And now you're hearing the same 3 letters that follow every young quarterback who starts to get hot. MVP. May threw for at least 200 yards with their passer rating over 100 in 6 straight games. Before turning 24, only a very short list of quarterbacks has ever done anything like that. But Cleveland might be New England's first real stress test, because the Browns, they're 2-5, but that record doesn't tell you what their defense is doing. Cleveland enters the game ranked first in total defense at 256 yards allowed per game. Top 5 against the run, top 5 against the pass. Jim Schwartz has a fast, aggressive, and capable defensive group. Rookie linebacker Carson Schweschinger, he already looks like he belongs there. And then there's Myles Garrett. Garrett enters this afternoon with 107.5 career sacks. He needs 1 more, just 1, to pass Reggie White for the most official sacks ever recorded by a player before turning 30. So there's your matchup. The quarterback who looks like he might be becoming one of the league's best new stars against one of the best defensive players of his generation. Cleveland's going to need Garrett because the other side of Cleveland, it's a different story. Joe Flacco opened up the season as the quarterback, and 4 games later, Cleveland's 1-3, and the offense, it wasn't working. Not at all. Not even a little bit. Kevin Stefanski turned things over to rookie Dylan Gabriel for Week 5 in London. And Gabriel played pretty well in his debut. He threw 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but Minnesota scored 25 seconds left and beat Cleveland 21-17. 2 days later, Flacco was traded away. So now this is Gabriel's team, at least for the moment. Cleveland lost again in Pittsburgh, then finally got something going against Miami in Week 7. The Browns beat the Dolphins 31-6. And that score's a little bit misleading. Cleveland's defense forced 4 turnovers, and the Browns turned those directly into 21 points. But still, when you're 1-5, you take whatever win you can get. And now they're 2-5. And maybe you're wondering whether that Miami game was the beginning of something else. But the odds makers aren't convinced. New England's favored by 7. And the basic expectation is pretty much this. Cleveland's defense can make this uncomfortable for New England. But unless the Browns create turnovers or get a big day from rookie running back Quitshaw Judkins, how are they ever going to score enough? That's the question. And before we get into this thing, these franchises have met in the postseason exactly once. New Year's Day, 1995. New England's coach was Bill Parcells. Cleveland's coach was Bill Belichick. Coaching trees. Belichick's defensive coordinator was Nick Saban. That coaching staff also had a young personnel scout named Jim Schwartz. And Cleveland beat New England in that game 20-13. Excuse me. Patriots quarterback that day was Drew Bledsoe, and the Browns quarterback that day was Vinny Testaverde. 30 years later, Belichick's old Cleveland team is walking into the stadium, where he eventually built a dynasty. Football starts to double back and eat its own tail if you hang around long enough. Right? But back to 2025. New England gets the ball first, and immediately they look like the better offense. Travion Henderson rips off runs of 12 and 18. May scrambles for 16. Ramondre Stevenson catches a 3rd down pass for another chunk of yardage. The Patriots reach the Cleveland 8-yard line, 3rd down, and Garrett finds May. 10-yard loss. New England settles for 3 points, 1 sack. And with that, Garrett's passed Reggie White for the most sacks before age 30. And Cleveland answers with what's probably its best offensive sequence of the afternoon. On 3rd and long, Gabriel finds rookie tight end Harold Fannin Jr. for 19. Then Malachi Corley takes a jet sweep 31 yards. Gabriel goes right back to Fannin for an 18-yard touchdown pass. Round 7, Patriots 3. So if you're a Cleveland fan watching this live, what were you thinking? Because this was pretty much the game plan. Make May uncomfortable. Run the ball. Give Gabriel manageable throws. Get a lead. See if New England becomes impatient. And for most of the first half, it works. But the Patriots get into scoring position again in the second quarter. 3rd down from the Cleveland 7. Garrett gets May again. New England kicks another field goal, 7-6. Later on, May makes the mistake that Cleveland's been waiting for so patiently. May didn't see Schlesinger underneath. The rookie linebacker picked him off. New England got the ball back before halftime and started moving again. Garrett got May again. This time, he knocks the football loose. And the Patriots recover it themselves, but that's 3 sacks for Garrett in 1 half. New England salvages another field goal as time expires. Patriots 9, Browns 7. So stop right there. I want to know right now. If I tell you before the game that Cleveland holds New England to 9 first-half points, intercepts May, and Garrett takes him down 3 times, you'd probably take that. You might even assume Cleveland's winning, but they're not. And that's the problem. Because the Browns have done almost everything they need to do defensively, and they have a grand total 7 points. New England opens the second half with a 77-yard drive. Henderson breaks a 27-yard run. May starts finding space. Then he hits Hunter Henry for a 7-yard touchdown, 16-7. Cleveland gets the ball back and now the game starts to get fast. Gabriel tries to thread one over the middle. Robert Spillane intercepts it and returns the ball to the Cleveland 6. Garrett responds by sacking May for the 4th time. But it doesn't matter. May gets the yardage back with Stephon Diggs, then finds Diggs again for a 1-yard touchdown. Now it's 23-7. Cleveland gets another possession. Gabriel throws another pick, and this one's ridiculous. Jalen Hawkins reaches out with one hand, snatches the ball, and somehow controls it, going to the ground. New England takes over again, and now May puts the game away. He scrambles 28 yards right through the middle of Cleveland's defense. On the next play, he sees Kayshon Boutte matched up outside. Boutte gets behind the corner. May drops the ball right on top of him. 39 yards, touchdown, 30-7. That entire game Cleveland was trying to play in the first half, it's gone. New England scored 21 unanswered points in the third quarter, and yet Garrett still isn't done. He sacks May again in the fourth quarter, number 5. That's 5 sacks in one game, a Cleveland Browns franchise record, a career high, and somehow his team is down 30-7. NFL research later found something even stranger. Since sacks first became official in 1982, there had been 19 previous 5-sack games. Not one of those players had their team lose by double digits. Garrett became the first. Maybe it's not the best record to have, but at least he got 5 sacks, right? Gabriel does get Cleveland into the end zone again, finding David Njoku from 11 yards out, so it's 30-13. Then, because this game needs one last indignity, Gabriel gets called for intentional grounding, standing in his own end zone. Safety. Final score, New England 32, Cleveland 13. May finishes 18 of 24 for 282 passing yards, 3 scores, and 1 pick. He adds another 50 yards rushing. He also gets sacked 6 times, 5 times by Garrett. Gabriel throws for 156 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And now, New England's won 5 straight games. So what looks like it might be a difficult afternoon at halftime turned into another comfortable comeback win. And now, in hindsight, we know this game was pointing towards 2 bigger stories. For New England, this didn't turn out to be just a cute early season run. The Patriots kept piling up the wins, kept stacking them up. They kept winning. They ended up 14-3. They won the AFC East, improving by 10 wins over their 2024 counterparts. Mike Vrabel won Coach of the Year. May finished the regular season completing 72% of his passes. That's the best single season mark in Patriots history. Then New England beat the Chargers in the wild card round, Houston in the divisional round, and Denver in the AFC Championship game. So 1 year after finishing 4-13, the Patriots were in Super Bowl 60. It's pretty cool if you're a Patriots fan. But Seattle beat them 29-13, so there wasn't a championship at the end of this rainbow. But the rebuild had moved a whole lot faster than anybody expected or anticipated. Cleveland went the other way. Gabriel didn't remain the starter all season long, and eventually, Shedeur Sanders got his opportunity. The Browns struggled to score, no matter who was playing quarterback, and they finished 5-12. Their offense ended the year in the bottom 6 in passing yards, rushing yards, and total offense. Their defense remained good, and Garrett kept going. 5 sacks against New England wasn't just one afternoon. It was the centerpiece of one of the best pass rushing seasons anybody's ever had. Garrett finished with 23 sacks, setting the NFL single season record, and he won Defensive Player of the Year. And Schlesinger, the rookie linebacker who intercepted May in this game, ended up winning Defensive Rookie of the Year. Cleveland went 5-12, and somehow they had both those guys. Again, sometimes football's strange. But what do you remember from this one? Was it Drake May? Because May got punched in the mouth for a half, kept playing and eventually carved up a very good defense. Was it the third quarter? Because New England turned a 9-7 game into a blowout before Cleveland could ever respond. But for me, though, it's Garrett. 5 sacks. 5. If you saw that number in a box score without seeing the final, you'd probably guess Cleveland won. But they lost, 32-13. Sometimes one player really can take over a football game. He just can't take over enough of it. I'm Kevin. Thank you for watching. Thanks for your comments. There's no comments. Well, I'm not really doing this for you. Oh, I'm doing it for me. So this will continue until I'm dead. So come on by, watch one. I don't care. Don't. I love you anyways, even if it's just me. Anyway, I'm going to go to see the Astros play a game tonight at the Dakin Park. And I'll go see tomorrow's game too, then I'm flying back to Nashville. So until next time, I will see you next time.